your emergency? Suspect is armed and dangerous.
Well, two Chattanooga gang members now face life in prison for a 2006 murder.
I traded my freedom in for 3 meals a day, food that is not worth eating, a cot, which they call a bed, and a cell. Like all day, you locked down all day. What am I gonna do? I could be out there, man, with my brothers, with my family, raising my daughter. So it's like people need to think about that before they gonna join these gangs. It's like gangs have a lot of consequences behind them. It's like you know the consequences in the back of your mind, but you really don't know until you in that situation. But when you in that situation, it's like, man, it's too late.
My worst regret is taking somebody's life. Yeah, I didn't even know, because it was gang affiliated, and had to deal with that. My worst regret was spending from 14 to 27 incarcerated. My worst regret is not able to graduate high school. They never make it through junior high. No pep rallies, no prom, none of that. That was my worst regret. I traded in my lifestyle for a false illusion that I thought was a fantasy. It became my worst nightmare. That's my regret.
Anthony Williams and Timothy Evans made a choice to get involved with the gangs. Now they're spending the rest of their lives in prison. It all began when they were young, just like you.
Get up out of here. I'm in here for something I ain't even do.
Gang affiliation starts off when you're young. You know what I mean? It don't start off when you get 20. It don't start off when you get 30. It starts off when you're young. So when you're young, they soak your mind up with all these false doctrines, all these false ways to live, how to think, how to behave. So when you grow up, all this stuff is implanted in your head. You become a robot. You know what I mean? You do whatever it is that the person that you looked up to, you do whatever it is that they desire you to do to make that name for yourself. I was doing everything that I possibly can to make the people around me happy. And it was selling drugs, and it was shooting pistols. You know what I mean? It was killing folks. It was actually doing a lot of hideous things right now that I'm ashamed of, but that's what I was once a part of, and that's what I done. So at the age of 12, I started becoming familiar with guns, you know what I mean? I started becoming infatuated with guns, you know what I mean? And you know, started looking at like action-packed movies, thinking I could do that in the streets, you know what I mean? And it started becoming a drug, you know what I mean? It started becoming an addiction. So I fell into that realm, you know what I mean? I started smoking weed at the age of 12, started wearing different type of clothing, you know, for other people to know that what I was. It's crazy because it's like when you affiliated, you want to show the other neighborhood your dominance, you know what I mean? It wasn't something that you just get in just because it was fun, because there's nothing fun about people dying. It's nothing fun about 13 or 12 years old, you know, people like laying in the casket just because they wore the wrong color or because they said the wrong thing. So this was my environment. This is what I grew up in, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, I made some irrational decisions that put me in certain situations that came about what I'm in right now.
Had it pretty hard, man. Growing up, got involved with gangs. At the age of 17, I was charged with first-degree murder. At the age of 19, I got convicted of first-degree murder and received a life sentence. I'm 21 now. My daughter just turned 5 December the 29th, and it's like, it's really hard on me. I just be stressed and depressed every day. You know what I'm saying? Not being able to see my daughter, because I left my daughter when she was 1. That ain't all I knew, that's all I wanted to know. I was in school, I made good grades. I didn't drop out. I was still in school before I got incarcerated. It's like, gangs is not what it all seems to be. To me, it's like, it's a little bit of truth with a whole bunch of lies that come behind it. And it's like, once you join the gang, it's like there's no turning back at some point, because like I said, it's like it got a hold on you. And then that's where a lot of young people like me get confused at the age of 16 and 17. You got somebody that's over you, like way older than you, and they telling you that this love, they gonna take care of you, they got your back, all of those nonsense they feed to you. But it's like, as I've been incarcerated over the years, it's like I've been wondering why would a older person, you know what I'm saying, send a 17-year-old out there to kill somebody. So that's what basically like took place with my case. You know what I'm saying? An older person who was over me had me to, you know what I'm saying, kill somebody, and that's how it took place. And in the end, it just destroyed me.
You might be saying that'll never happen to me. I come from a good family, or I'm a girl and gangs are just for boys. Think again.
Nowadays, if a boy sees a girl in the gang, he thinks that's even better than if she wasn't in the gang, because it means like she'll fight for him, all this other stuff. But it is just as hard for girls as it is for boys.
People come to me like every now and then they ask me, do I want to be in this gang or what? And I be like, I don't know. I think that ain't the right thing for me because I ain't that right kind of guy to be in that gang and stuff like that. I'm not no gang guy.
Maybe you are in a bad situation at home. Drugs are everywhere. Maybe your family's even mixed up with gangs. There is a way out.
I know that it's hard. I know. You know, I've met people who've been in prison and I've talked to them and I've heard their stories and I know it's gruesome, but it doesn't have to be that way. You know, when you grow up with it, you think that, you know, that's your life, someone else lives another way. That's how it is. It's not like that. You have a choice, and, you know, like, listening to those people and letting them choose how you're gonna live is completely the wrong way to go about it. I mean, be different, have the strength to stand up. I mean, don't fade into the background and let someone else judge everything you do. I mean, I guess, you know, because I know how things are and I know that stuff happens in life that, you know, you can't handle, but there's a way to deal with that instead of, you know, turning to drugs or turning to alcohol. And it's hard. It's not easy. It's not, oh, just say no. It's not like that. It's very hard, and, you know, you have to work at it one step at a time. That's the only way to make it work.